Welcome back to the Limitless Life podcast. Welcome if you're new here. I'm your host, Brenda Johnston, and this is a place we dive into the real energetics of business, money, and success without all of the fluff. And today is a part of my legacy series where I'm sitting down with women who are building businesses, movements, and missions that are redefining what leadership looks like and feels like. And let me tell you, today's guest embodies that to her core. I met Rebecca, the founder of the Detour Co, at a recent event. And not only was I drawn to her energy, she's very calm and grounded, but then I tried her products. And I am not exaggerating when I say I am now completely obsessed with her face toner and her eye roller. Like these are now officially part of my daily ritual. We'll get into that. Rebecca is a mother, an entrepreneur, and an advocate for women's empowerment. She believes that life just keeps getting better, and I have to agree. And she's built her brand around that truth. What might have started as a detour actually became a devotion, a business that now helps women reconnect to themselves and create a life that they truly love. So, in this conversation, we're unpacking the deeper side of that journey, not just how she's built her company, but the mindset, the energy, and the integrity behind it. We're going to talk about what it really takes to build a business from intention instead of struggle, and how your energy leads before your marketing really ever does. So, if you've ever wondered how to grow something that feels as good as it looks, you're going to love this episode. So, let's dive into this. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you, Brenda. I am like bursting over here. That intro was beautiful. I'm really honored to be here with you today. Thank you.
I'm just excited to have you because, first of all, I talk to a lot of like service providers, coaches, creatives, things like that. But I don't have a lot of women who are actually creating physical products. So I'm really
Yeah,
excited because I know a lot of women who would love to have physical products.
yeah,
And so it's nice to have somebody on, especially for the legacy series, who's
totally.
doing this and doing it so intentionally.
Thank you.
What I really like about what I've learned about you and all the things is you talk about how after years of prioritizing everybody else, you actually had to start reconnecting with yourself. You
Hmm.
started doing that through these small, very intentional rituals, and it
Hmm.
started with skincare. So,
Yeah.
can we kind of talk about like what was that process like for you? Like, what did those rituals wake up inside of you?
It did start with face care. Was in a lonely and depleted place personally and needed something I could do every day that was just for me. And wasn't able to, get out, go to the gym or do something. It had to be something I could do within my own space. So face care felt like the right the right choice for me. And it just started as something I was doing for myself every day. So by the end of the day, I knew I could look back and know that I did something that was just for me. But what I found was it really fueled my confidence because not only was I caring for myself and my skin, but there's this element of physical touch, really paying attention to myself, the tension I'm holding, the stress. What happens if I take a breath and relax my shoulders? And as my skin continued to improve, there was just this inner outer beauty thing happening that really fueled my confidence to continue finding more meaningful moments for myself throughout my days.
Hmm. And so when that started, were you creating your own products at that time or were you using other things?
Both. I was playing around with making my own stuff for fun, but I was also using another natural skincare brand, like a small brand. I lived in London, Ontario at the time, and it was a beautiful business that I loved to support, like so many people do mine today. But no, at the time I was just using what I could find and toying around with the idea of making some of my own stuff too.
Okay, wait, what year did you live in London?
My whole life until 4 years ago.
Okay, because I lived in London.
Oh, wow.
I worked at an ad agency in London when I was younger. I think I left London I think it was 2006. I
Okay.
went
I
there
don't,
for work, but then got married, left, all the
yeah,
things.
I know years are weird. I'm like,
I know.
what was I doing in 2006?
But I always get excited. I'm like, somebody else from London. Yay.
Yes. Yeah, I was born and raised in London, same with my husband, and that's
Oh,
where we had
crazy.
both of our kids.
Oh, that's so cool. I liked London. It was nice back then.
It was nice. I enjoyed it, but I was very ready to leave by the time we did, and I'm so happy we made that choice.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I mean, I wasn't raised there, but there comes this point where you just know you're meant to leave London. It's like, okay, I
Yeah,
got to go now.
yes. And we like sat in that for a while. We knew we wanted to leave. We knew we wanted to be closer to the tree. Honestly, I was like, I just need to be have more trees in my life.
Yeah.
And but we couldn't move for a certain amount of time. And then I got pregnant, so we decided to stay even longer so we could have our baby there. And in that time, I really had to notice, okay, if I want to leave London to be closer to the trees, why don't I just spend more time in nature while I'm here? I find that whenever I'm ready to make a shift or a move and it doesn't instantly land in my life, it's like, well, what about that desire can I bring into today?
Mm,
And that helped it kind of when we were there and weren't ready to leave yet.
I love that. So back to you and your rituals and the skincare. So at what point did like those simple self-care moments kind of start to shift into something that felt bigger for you? Like it, because to me, I'm listening to you and I'm watching your energy, and it's literally like it was guiding you towards your purpose.
I know. I feel the same. It's so weird. And it was like at the beginning it was this dim little flame that every morning I would wake up and do my face care and it lit this little flame within me so that there was a piece of me that I was able to hold and spend time with. But then I kind of the more I spent time with myself, the more I craved time with myself. It really helped me figure out my thoughts. Who am I? What do I want? I
Mm.
don't know if we ever would have decided to leave London if I didn't give myself permission to spend time with myself and get curious about our life and the choices we were making.
And that's so powerful too. The whole thing of giving yourself the space and the time to be with yourself. It's powerful. Most women feel guilty doing that.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and I know it is hard if to change your routines, your rhythms. I just know it's so worthwhile. Even if it starts with a few minutes a day, who knows what it can grow into.
So you're doing all these things, then comes motherhood, and then everything changes again. Not the fact that you couldn't leave London yet, but you started to realize that your son was having reactions to like everything. And then that created this whole new experience for you and this level of awareness. Can you take us back to that moment? Like, what was happening for you emotionally and energetically as a new mom trying to protect your family, essentially?
Yeah, that was a very challenging time. I stepped into motherhood. We were living in London purposefully at that time because that's where the majority of our family and friends were. And it was like, well, if we're going to start a family, we want to have people around us. And a lot of the people that I thought would be a comfortable and safe, supportive space, it wasn't necessarily that way. It was more abrasive. Instead of being like this soft, cozy blanket, it's like we were surrounded by sandpaper or something.
Mm.
So I really felt alone and isolated in those early days of motherhood. And then to see that my son was really reacting to things, he was still only breastfeeding when he started to have a lot of skin flare ups. And so, I'm looking inward. What am I doing wrong? And I started putting things on his skin. We saw a specialist who prescribed a steroid cream, and I just looked at this prescription and I was like, I can't. Like, I physically cannot fill this subscription and put this on my tiny baby son. And that's when I started wondering what could I do? What could I make? And then summer came and all the sunscreens made him react. And I was like, what if I put zinc in my lotions? What would that do? it really was just this path of curiosity of following, noticing what felt wrong and discovering what could feel right for us.
Hmm. So what you're saying is you actually tuned into your intuition and listened to it.
Oh, heck yes. I mean, at the time, I was also a Reiki master, retreat host, yoga teacher. This energetic side of me has always kind of just paved this path, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was literally, here's your purpose. You just got to
Y-
follow the path.
Yeah, yeah, it totally, totally was.
Here you go. um, One of the things that I really love about your story too is how you connect the self-care to the self-respect, because when we're perceiving ourselves differently, we perceive the world differently. And that line for me, it resonates really deeply because of also the subconscious work that I do with people. What does that mean to you, especially in the context of like how women are relating to their own bodies and their own energy?
It took me a while to get here and figure out how to say that, like what I wanted to say. You're asking, how do we get here? And that was sort of the basis of starting the natural skincare brand. In my experience, when we spend time in nature, we can see these imperfections in nature. You might look at the bark of a tree and see how deep it is, or watch the river flowing and see how sometimes it's fast and sometimes it's slow. And whenever I spend time in nature, I tend to walk away with an answer that I didn't know I needed. So, starting a natural skincare brand was an invitation for people to connect more deeply with nature. When we see nature, we do see ourselves. And I hope that creates more inner compassion, more inner acceptance, more inner kindness. And when we are kinder and more compassionate with ourselves, we do see through that lens, like you're saying, our inner world creates our outer world. So then I started to see everyone else with more compassion and kindness, all because I just sat by a river. But that is an intention I really wanted to bring into the brand. If people are using more natural products, maybe it will inspire them to be more kind and compassionate with themselves. And so that's where it's not just self care, it's self respect came from, because it isn't you just sitting in a bubble bath. It's you being with yourself, noticing how you feel, and letting yourself be as you are.
Yes. I did a podcast, I think it was a couple years ago, but it was something to affect the effect of self-care isn't just bubble baths and bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more than that. And I
Yes.
love
I
the
mean,
idea.
I love a good bath. I will soak in a bath full of Epsom salts and herbal oils. That is my jam. And that is a version of self-care for me for sure. But I'm doing it knowing that it's replenishing my body and softening my tension. There's that we can do things, or we can do things intentionally.
Yes. Yes. So I think sometimes we go down this road of like, oh, self-love and self-care has to look like this. Does it though?
Yeah. Checking the check boxes is just like you in a box again. Like, let's get outside of the box, please.
Yeah. And I love that when you go to nature, you get answers because I also do too. But what's hilarious is I didn't go in nature when I lived in London. I didn't go in nature until I moved to Guelph and we adopted a dog. And he was very reactive. So I had to find paths, like different paths every day to take him on so that he would be comfortable and I would be comfortable.
Uh,
And now it's like every day I have to go out in nature. And if I don't, I feel crazy.
yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, you're reflecting back to me that this is my purpose, but I mean, obviously, your dog has brought you many gifts, and that's part of your path too.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm supposed to be out here. Oh, I'm supposed to, when I'm out here, I'm quieter and I'm listening to things around me. Oh, when I'm out here, I'm not in my head. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
I'll walk with my phone because one, I like to take pictures of things.
Yes.
And also, I'm out in nature. So if something happens, I want to have the phone. But it's such a, it's so interesting, like what you were saying about sometimes the river moves slow and sometimes it moves fast. And sometimes you look at the leaves and they almost look like little frames, especially in the fall.
Yeah.
Fascinating to
Or
me.
the way trees grow. Like some of
Yeah.
them are just growing on boulders.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, but look at how big that tree did grow, even though it started in a really hard place and had to work really hard to create those roots around that boulder. It still found its way to grow and rise and be part of this forest community.
There is a tree. It's a type of cherry tree that grows where we walk. And at some point it fell over, but it just kept growing. And so they've put things under to help kind of raise it up so it can just keep growing sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to grow.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Um, so how has your relationship with like your own skin and your own energy evolved since you started the company?
I feel like I'm more in love with my skin than ever before. These products and these rituals, like life keeps getting better. Somehow my skin keeps getting better. I'm just here for it all. I love it.
Yes. I was going to ask you what shifts that you see in your customers when they start treating the skincare as an energetic practice rather than just a beauty routine. And you and
Hmm.
I have talked. So I bought your eye roller and your
Hmm.
face. It's like a toner, like a spray.
Hmm.
And I was obsessed with the spray right when I tried it at the
Yeah.
event. And then I got home and the eye roller, I was like, oh, this will be cool before bed. And then I started to realize, oh, this is so good in the morning. And oh, this is so good at the end of the day when I've been in front of the computer all day. And it's like you're very intentional about how even your packaging. And I think I said this to you. I was like, I really appreciate that the roller ball is metal
Hmm.
because it's cold and it
Hmm.
makes my puffy eyes just like, I don't know, they just settle down. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there and going, and the coldness, like it definitely is an energetic thing for me now.
Yeah. I love that so much. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because I just changed my packaging. It used to be in a little tiny dropper bottle. And I changed that this year so that it was easier to apply and yeah, all around the roller ball is a lot better.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's life keeps getting better, but it's also because I'm curious and I'm always wondering, how can this be better? I'm constantly shifting myself and my messaging and a lot of different elements of the brand so that it can continue to improve and support the people that are listening and using the products.
Girl, curiosity is one of my top core values. I
Heck
think
yes, yes.
curiosity is one of the best things anybody can have. And I like that you changed it from the other thing. I used one years ago where you had to kind of put it on your hand and then put it on your finger. And I was just, I don't know, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, a lot of steps
Yeah.
and a little bit of mess is what I found. It was nice to have it worked for the time, but then once I realized I could make it better, I'm going to step into that and change it.
Yes. So this is where I love to bridge story into actual strategy because you didn't build this business from hustle. You didn't build it from like hype. To me, looking at you, you've really built this from alignment. So
Hmm.
let's talk more about what that looked like. So when you were in the earlier stages, formulating, packaging, building the brand, what beliefs or fears did you have to release so that you could stay in that trust instead of trying to control things?
I would say the main barrier and belief that I came up against is I'm not an expert. I just started mixing butters and oils together based on their quality and their nutrient values, different components of it was just me playing.
Mm,
And now I have a skincare brand and I'm looking at different skincare brands and they are, ingredient obsessed or scientifically scientifically proven or designed by a skincare formulator of 20 years. There's so many different ways to create skincare, and mine was just an intuitive like playfulness. And so I had to sit with that, looking at myself versus others. And how can I call myself an expert? How can I, that title of, skincare expert? That was a tricky one to come to terms with for sure.
How did you get over it?
I just leaned in and said, I know what I'm doing, not just because I'm having fun and creating products, but people are getting results all the time. Even just this weekend, my husband had a weird skin thing and he did go out to buy like a cream from the drugstore. And then he looked at the ingredients and was like, maybe I'll just try the Detour Co. zinc cream instead. And so he tried that and it's been working for him. So the fact that my products are offering people safer solutions for their skin, less chemicals, more integrity, and also better skin, it fuels me to know that I'm not just making skincare, but I'm making skincare that works.
Yeah, and you're testing, it's tried and true.
Yeah.
Like this is lived experience. That's how you're
Yeah.
building this. So for you, what does it kind of look like when you're trying to navigate the business side of the company, but also keep the creative process very sacred? Because again, listening to your story and watching you and knowing you, the creative process does feel very sacred.
Hmm. It's kind of become a conversation between me and the brand. And I am a creative person, but the brand has its own sort of identity. And at the beginning, it was really easy to get an idea and then try it out and sell something new or formulate something and then put it on my table at the next market. It was a lot of trial and error, constant creation. And then over time, I was able to see, okay, these products are selling better, more consistently. People are coming back for them. And these products aren't so much. So looking at the things I feel like creating and maybe trying them, but then seeing the brand and what's working for the Detour Co. and following that path. So it's been sort of a dance.
Yes, I love what you just said there because our brands do have their own energetic signature. Yes, you are also a brand, but our businesses have their own energy. So I
Yeah.
love hearing you say that. I also know that there are so many women listening to this who have this itch to bring something physical into this world, whether it's like a product or the ritual or something tangible. What's one piece of advice you'd give them before they even start doing that?
I wish more women knew that courage comes before confidence. If you have an idea, what's the harm in trying? You put maybe an offer out into the world and two or three people buy it. I wish I actually knew how many products I sold on my first ever market day. I should probably go back and figure that out because I didn't start this brand with, I did not know it was going to even become what it is now. It
Mm-hmm.
was a question. I just set up a market booth with a little logo, wondering, is anyone going to buy this? Does anybody want this? I just started making stuff and selling stuff. And then the fact that it was selling and people were coming back, then it was one step after another. I didn't even have a website. So much of my business has grown based on conversations I've had with customers or me reflecting on the business, what's working and what's not working, and then just moving in a few different directions along the way.
Yes. Again, I'm just like, you just keep dropping these nuggets. I'm like, yes, like the courage and the confidence piece. I feel like a lot of women, and listen, I've done it too. So we've all done it. We get so hung up on the strategy, but we don't have the clarity and the conviction. And then we go, oh, I'm not confident enough. But clarity, conviction, and confidence comes before the strategy actually shows up. And then it all falls into place. Like it's so interesting to me to watch and
Yeah.
experience and
I
live.
think it's been a bit of a blessing for me to come at this not from a marketing or a business standpoint. I very much, as I said, used to work in the energetic realms and spiritual side of things. And I just stepped into this from that place.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to learn the strategy along the way, and I've had to learn some of the more logical or rational components of a business. So I've just come into it differently, I suppose.
Yeah, which I think is amazing because I came into all of this. I have like 24 years in marketing and advertising. So my brain was always strategy, logic. No, doesn't, it's backwards.
Yeah, everyone, like everyone's business has their own pace, their own trajectory. And I feel like growing this business has been like that slow and low, when you put a
Mm-hmm.
roast in the oven, just slow and low, you let it cook for a few hours, and at the end, you come out with this like beautiful, juicy thing. That's kind of been my experience. It's just been a slow growth.
Yes. So let's build on this energy thing because you built this brand that feels calm. There's so much confidence behind it. It's very restorative. Your energy is in everything you create. So let's talk about that because part of my deeper mission is always around making energy easy to help people understand that like your frequency is a part of your best strategy. So was the frequency something that you intentionally cultivated or did that unfold naturally as things were growing?
I have this philosophy where I just follow joy. I call it like effervescence, that inner feeling of the thing that's the most exciting for you. I try to lead my day with that. I don't start with a to-do list and say, like, these are all the things I have to do because when my energy is, oh, I have to do this, I'm not super into it. It takes me longer. I'm more distracted. But when I start my day with, what am I most excited about today? That is just has worked for me. It's like, what's the most exciting thing I can do right now for this business, for myself? And then once I have that energy build, it's a little easier to get to the more mundane things because it's like, ooh, I wrote my email and I am so proud. And now I am going to mix this essential oil blend that is not terribly exciting because it's a recipe and a formula and I'm just measuring and pouring, but it does smell delightful. Anyway, yeah, leading with joy and that like inner bubbliness.
I love that. So as you scale, when you get more orders, more people, more moving pieces, how do you protect your energy and the integrity of the brand that you're creating?
I have hired the most amazing assistant who fills orders and labels jars
Love it.
and cleans my dishes. And honestly, as a business owner, I took a long time to really wrap my head around that, like hiring someone for those roles, because it's like, this is my business. Shouldn't I be able to do everything? But once I, looked at myself and said those hours could be put into something else. And now I have somebody who's so excited to do these things for me and the brand. And we just like flow. It's the best. Just sending voice notes. Okay, I'm done in the studio today. So here's the 6 things that I'd love for you to get done this evening. And if they don't get done until Thursday, that's fine. It's just so fluid. And I'm really grateful for this wonderful human who has stepped into being my studio assistant and taking some of those more menial tasks off my plate.
Yes, I love that. I also feel like entrepreneurship has this way of kind of reflecting back all of the patterns that maybe we didn't even know we had. And
Yeah.
so asking for help or being open to receive the help is a big one for a lot of people. And every new level requires a different version of us. So let's talk about that evolution for you. Like, what has your company shown you about yourself as a mother, as a leader, as a human?
Yeah, I definitely have learned. It's kind of difficult to explain, I suppose, but I've had those fall to the floor moments where I'm wondering, what am I doing here? I feel like a burden on my family. I'm taking time, I'm taking money, all of these resources in the younger years of my kid's life, just hoping that it becomes what I envision it to become, and letting myself have those hard days, say the things I want to say without filtering them. So, like, honest expression. And almost always, if I'm having one of those nights where it just feels hard and I want to walk away, if I give myself permission to say the thing or journal the thing or just cry when words aren't coming, the next day I have clarity and I know, you know what? This is the next thing that I need to do. And if I'm just going to try that and see where it goes. And it almost always makes things better. So,
Mm.
like, dropping the doubt or the guilt, acknowledging the hard parts gives me more direction. It's like, these aren't the things I need, but now I can see where I can go. And then that inner joy comes back of like, yay, I know what to do next.
Hmm. What would you say has been one of your biggest energetic gaps in business, like that space between who you were and who you were becoming versus who you are now? Like how have you been able to move through the weird spaces?
It also has been a bit of a slow transition. It's, I'm just me, right? I've always been me. And maybe there's like a humility, but as much as I consider myself a pretty unique person, for people to now reflect back that I'm the one who they think about when they do their face care and they're like, oh, Rebecca would be so proud of me. That's literally the greatest compliment I could get, because all I want to do is inspire women to spend more time with themselves.
Mm.
And it's really cool that I get to do that just by being myself.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I've continued to, I guess, find the courage to put myself out there or just say the thing. But I don't know. I suppose it's been challenging, but not challenging, because really what I'm doing is just letting myself be who I'm really meant to be.
Hmm. I mean, I messaged you because I was like, I think I'm addicted to this face thing. Is it possible to use this too much? Is this bad?
Yeah.
You're like,
No.
no, spray away.
Yes, spray away, enjoy as often as you want. That's the cool part about these products is
Right.
you can't overdo it. Just you get to create your own adventure.
So you have body products, but I feel like your love is with the facial stuff.
Hmm.
Are you
That's been a
choosing?
very interesting evolution of the brand, because when I started the brand, I was selling body butter, zinc cream, and bug spray. These were the three things that I was using in my home for my family. And at the time, the brand was really just here to be a safe space for people to find natural alternatives to those conventional products, something that people felt more comfortable bringing into their home and using with their families. But as I followed these crumbs of the brand that the brand has been showing me, and I only started making face cream because somebody asked me for it. Somebody said, oh, I used to have this face cream with honey in it. Do you think you could make something like that? So, I just go to my brain place and create, I wonder what I could do with honey. I started to making a face cream and then a face toner. And there's just been this evolution of one product after another based on conversations with my community. And even magnesium spray. For the longest time, I didn't make magnesium spray. I was like, there's already so many people making and selling magnesium spray. Why do I, like, who am I? Who
Mm.
am I? What would make mine special? But I started making it because so many people asked for it. Where the brand began is very different than where I am today. And so now I'm really leaning into the face rituals, which is very interesting because it actually has a lot more meaning to me personally. So it makes a lot of sense that not only are these the products that I love making and talking about the most, but they're also the products that people tend to come back for and enjoy the most.
Mm, I love that. It's just so interesting to like look back, I feel like, on where we started and where we are and where we're going and how things have evolved. So that's why I love having these conversations with women founders. So for the women listening who maybe is her in her own transition or detour season, let's call it that, what what truth would you want her to hold on to right now? Because those seasons can be scary.
It's okay to do less.
Mm,
Transitions, in my experience, take a lot longer than I think they're going to. I, when I moved, it's like, oh, I'll have everything unpacked and settled in a month. Nope. Oh, my kids are going to school. They're starting school. I'm sure within a week or two we'll find our new rhythm. Nope. Give yourself so much space for these transitions.
mm,
Give yourself grace, give yourself space, and let yourself feel different and act differently on different days when you need to. Because some days you're going to have the energy and the joy, and you're going to be like, wow, this is the life I was meant to live. And other days you're going to be like, I'm so tired. Let me stay in bed today.
I want a sausage roll today,
Yeah.
especially when the weather changes.
Yes, here's another transition. We're constantly going through changes, and it's okay if it takes longer than you think it's going to. And if you need to take a few things off your plate, I literally don't think I know a woman that can't do less. Like, we are constantly filling our plates, doing more for others, putting that one extra thing in the calendar because why not? I didn't have anything on that day, or sure, I can fit that in on that other day. Do less, do less,
Mm,
but with more intention.
yes, I love the intention. So before we wrap this up, I ask this of every guest that I have on the show. What does living a limitless life mean to you?
It has to be that effervescence for me. Limitless, it's for me, it's a feeling. It's not something you can see by looking at a person's life because limitless is going to be different for every single one of us. So if you feel really lit up about your life, then that's a renewable resource. You can create that. That is limitless. So
Mm,
follow that and keep just that whatever that is for you. I call it effervescence, but we all have this light and this energy inside of us that's asking for us to hear it, listen, and honor it. And that is going to help with that limitless life.
I feel like that effervescence is our purpose.
Yeah.
It feels sparkly to me.
Yes.
Rebecca, this has been such a beautiful conversation. Thank you for sharing your story, your heart, your wisdom with us today. For anybody who's listening to this and wants to experience your amazing products, Rebecca's got a gift for you: free shipping on your next order when you use the code limitless at checkout. So I'll have that and your everything in the show notes so you can shop. Um, Honestly, go grab things, but grab the face toner and the eye roller that I cannot stop talking about. You will thank me
If
later.
yeah, if anybody has questions, just send them my way. You can contact me through the website or through Instagram or through Facebook. I'm always happy to help make sure that you're getting the product that is really going to suit you, your life, your rhythm.
I also love that it's Canadian made. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, happily a Canadian brand.
Yeah, I love it. As always, thank you to everybody listening for tuning into the Limitless Life podcast. If today's conversation spoke to you, share it, tag us. You're going to have both of our Instagrams. Tell us what your biggest takeaway was, because these stories of women building energy and integrity led businesses, This is what legacy looks like. And that's what this series is about. So until next time, here's to creating your limitless life.